Hey guys, this is Juice. I wrote a little something earlier today, and although I'm pretty happy with this, Reen and I couldn't really find anywhere to put it as far as the podcast goes, so I decided to just do it as a little intro for this show. I'm also going to post this on my blog, juicemma.com, so you can catch it there if you want to share it with a friend or if you want to read it for yourself. But for now, I'll just verbalize what I wrote. Hope you like it. If you have any thoughts on this segment, if you want to call that, let me know. If you'd like to continue hearing things such as this, let me know. I'd love your input. I really don't know what I'm doing here. I just figured I'd let you guys hear it because this is something new for me and I want your guys' input. So thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Charles Oliveira's The Grinch. He stole Christmas. The eluding mega fight that was Khabib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson has evaporated into the ether of our SARS-CoV-2 filled air. Sure, this may sound like a news alert that's 7 months too late. After all, Justin Gaethje put an end to the most anticipated match in UFC history when he beat El Cucuy to a bloody pulp to claim the interim lightweight title that Tony Ferguson never actually lost. But be honest, you thought there was still a chance it might happen. Gaethje was the rightful challenger to Nurmagomedov's undisputed crown and would challenge him in the fall, but this is Khabib we're talking about. He has a long track record of bouts that were altered or never materialized. History would have leaned against Khabib in that context since he's had issues ranging from rib injuries, torn ACLs, botched weight cuts, and training with a camp notorious for idiotic intensity and lesioned athletes. But maybe the MMA gods would smile upon us. Maybe this time, Gaethje would forget his Coke bottle-sized glasses and fall down some stairs and break a toe. MMA fans love Justin Gaethje. We wouldn't want him hurt too bad, but if his absence meant Tony would step in his place and we'd finally see the Eagle versus the Boogeyman, then a slapstick-like injury to the highlight would be requisite, but it wouldn't come to be. Khabib mollywopped Justin, proceeded to what many fans of mixed martial arts thought of as unfathomable of a Dagestani combat sports athlete. He uncontrollably sobbed in the middle of the octagon, then retired. Citing a promise to his mother that he could not fight without his late father in his corner, he'd leave the sport 29-0. Which assuredly drove obsessive-compulsives mad. He never went up in weight or fought Georges St. Pierre, but did have the unanimous vote of the MMA world to be the best lightweight to ever compete. It was imperfect, but beautiful. Then a few short days later, Uncle Dana started backtracking in his ad nauseum go-to line of, if you're thinking of retiring, you should probably retire, claiming he believes Khabib still had gas in the tank. This is a man who didn't raise a finger as Ronda Jean Rousey decided to leave MMA for cameo movie roles and a short stint in WWE. The potential that Khabib has in respect to fighting ability and to bring in revenue is high, to say the least. Until December 11th, we had a glimmer of hope. Maybe Dana could convince Khabib to come back. Maybe the desire to go 30-0 would usurp his promise to his mother, since this is also a number his father wanted him to reach. But above all, Tony Ferguson needed to hold up his end of this extremely hopeful scenario. If the former interim champ could add Dupronx to his highlight reel, or could treat the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu ace like the scrawny kid that got whooped on by veterans like Jim Miller, Cub Swanson, and Cowboy Cerrone, then this matchup might be saved. Easier said than done. Oliveira may still look like that skinny Brazilian kid that made his debut in 2010, but he's now a 31-year-old man with some serious strength and grappling prowess to boot. He's siphoned his wild aggression on the mat to the stand-up realm, and he's infinitely more patient and methodical on the floor, which makes for a seriously potent combo. He wiped the floor with Ferguson like he was a janitor on graveyard shift, and we are better for it. This isn't to knock El Cucuy or Stan Dubronx. This is more an appreciation post for the hellscape that was mixed martial arts in Anno Domini 2020. Conor McGregor got his first UFC win in 4 years. John Jones had the closest fight of his career. Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Zhang Weili had an instantaneous classic fight that is assuredly Hall of Fame bound. Then COVID hit. No sports for 2 months. The UFC was the first to lead the march, apparently having the president's number at your disposal and connections with governors who are agnostic about some invisible bug going around can help you put on events in uncharted waters. And here we are, a few dozen COVID-positive test results and a fight island later, and we may have witnessed the fight of the year just a week ago. At worst, a clear silver medalist since Joanna versus Weili was so heart-stopping. The smallest male division and female division in the UFC put on fights of Titan-esque proportions. Those 4 warriors were fighting for 12 pounds of gold and in turn cemented their divisions as must-watch television. Hard for many to secure any job in this crisis, but they managed to do it. So Charles Oliveira, thank you. You proved there is no Santa and no MMA gods. The final nail in the Khabib-Ferguson dream match made it just that, a dream. Never to escape the sarcophagus and now shall reside in for eternity. We didn't need it. For all the utter shit, mismatches, B-level fights, and scrap bouts 2020 brought us, it also bestowed upon us 2 incredible fights that will be tough to beat this following decade. The recognition for a mercenary like Kevin Holland and the splendor of Joaquin Buckley's jumping spinning ninja kick, all during a time where most gyms on the planet were closed. People training in their basements and garages. Many fighters got creative or had to reach deep down and find the Rocky Balboa spirit. Time to take the good with the bad, and if you're still worshipping at the altar of MMA gods, it's okay to admit that the goosebumps that we would have felt when Herb Dean looked at Tony and Khabib and said, "Let's do it," wouldn't have been worth the ride that 2020 MMA was. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the iFox and Juice podcast. I'm your host, Juice, and I'm here with my co-host, the Brendan Shaw Food Truck Diaries to my Jake Paul vlog, Reen.
God damn it. I think it was a setup.
No, really?
It smells like a setup. Let's just put it that way.
Brendan Shaw is a man of integrity, Reen. How dare you?
He's up their ass.
The man who got COVID and is most likely, allegedly, been cheating on his wife is a man of very strict, strong integrity. How dare you?
Sure. Up their ass. YouTubers. Up their ass, dude. Of course, it helps him too. And then, yeah, he likes Connor's camp. He knows Dylan. Yeah, dude. It's just a fucking circus, but... Oh, well, it's entertaining. It looked like somebody... Or some people were kind of not digging it. They think it's stupid and they're talking shit, but... I must say, I like some of these shit shows. As long as it doesn't fuck around with, like, UFC belts and, cutting in line and shit like that. This has nothing to do with the UFC. Fucking Dylan Dennis doesn't even fight.
I was gonna say, and not even as a diss to Laredo. I was gonna say, I think Laredo has more fights than him, but no, I still think he may have 1 or 2 fights on her. But still, he started fighting 3-4 years ago now. I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a good while. So
Laredo's 2 years in, if that.
Yeah, I mean, she had a break because she was working. She did that reality show, right?
True. And then she got injured. She couldn't fight for a while because of that.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's not her fault. At least she's working and not hugging Connor's nuts all the time like Dylan. That kid's such a joke now. It's so sad because he's so talented.
Who?
As a jiu-jitsu fighter. Yeah, as jiu-jitsu.
Dennis. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just, he went down the wrong path, but make your money, boy.
At the end of the day, that's kind of what it all comes down to, right? Like, as much as we hate on people, I mean, last week we were going so hard on Rachel, but at the end of the day, it's like, hey, make your money and get out. We've kind of been saying that from the jump, but she just doesn't seem to get it. So, I don't know. That's the thing, is what's the end game for Dylan? I mean, it's Bellator. That's the thing. You can have a long shelf life on Bellator. It's not the UFC where they throw you to the wolves.
Right. And it seems like that's what they were doing for him. They were catering to him.
I'm sure they still will. I'm just, you know what?
Oh, they will. They will. They posted something already because of that viral video.
Bellator?
Yeah. They already said something like, well, now that happened, and then said, who do you think Dylan should fight next?
It's funny,
Good
right?
timing.
Like, I mean, as you mentioned, this has to be a work. There's no way this is organic. But if it is organic, props to Jake Paul. Like, if he really wants that fight with Connor to go where it hurts, right? We saw what happened when Khabib slapped Artem. He's really asking for that smoke, right? If this is real, he's really asking for that smoke.
Then if it's real, then why didn't Connor come down and protect his other boy? That's the other issue that people had, which I saw on Twitter.
Lockdown.
Well, still, he came with 10 guys. He didn't have 2 kids at the time either.
Yeah, I actually want to know where this was. Was it me, or did it look like they were outside of a DMV?
I don't know.
Didn't it look like some kind of or like a post office? It looked like some kind of government building.
I think Luke Thomas said that was outside their studios, one of the studios for Showtime.
Oh, well, he would know, right?
Yeah, Even though he
Man, that
doesn't
shit
work
looks
out
that
there,
shit
but
looks
he's
like a
been
state
there.
building.
Yeah.
It's a weird fucking studio.
He tweeted that when it first broke out, like people are talking about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, that place looks familiar," and they were actually looks like they were doing a Food Truck Diaries episode, and yeah, he's the one that first said that. So, well, that I saw of, anyways.
I never really watched basketball, so although I know who Nate Robinson is, I don't have this like grandstand this great respect for him the way that NBA fans might, because of his accomplishments. I know he was good, but I don't look at him as like some legend. Like it's not like he knocked out Michael Jordan or something, you know? I mean, that's like a true legend. But
Yeah.
I do find it funny that like the whole, I mean, we talked about it last week of like the that interview of, is it racist to knock out Nate, because Jake is white and Nate is black, was that racist? I will say, although that was a ridiculous question, I feel I gotta imagine how some black people may have felt watching that, if the thing that they many people probably did see over the summer with the looting and the riots, that Jake Paul actually participated in it here in my city of LA. He just went down and wasn't just filming. It's one thing to film it, it's just like, okay, this is what's going on in my city, this is crazy. He was actually partaking in it. You saw videos and pictures of him actually like taking shit out of some store.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, now that I think about it, it's like, yeah, he really did do Nate dirty, man. He just fucking bastardized the movement.
We only know him. Yeah, and then we only know him because of what's been going on. Like, I have no idea who the fuck these people are. So who knows what he's been doing in the past and what he said, and maybe that's the reason why they brought up that question. I don't know.
True, right? We don't follow enough to know, right?
Yeah, I mean, for them, both of them, I forgot their names. One of them was named Hill, and then her host. But anyways, like, for them to keep pressing and even bringing it up, right? What? So he must have did something that we are not fully aware of, I think.
That must have been racist. Now for real.
Yeah, right? Something's, yeah.
They smelled something wrong going on.
Yeah. Privileged kids, so yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, I never really gave a fuck about these guys. I know there was that Forrest thing with Logan Paul, and a lot of people were upset about that, and I know there were just attention whores, and that's why I just never really bothered. That's why I didn't even really want to open it like this. So I'm like, well, we don't have a preview to do, so we'll kill some time. And the intro of the show, the actual intro, which was my little monologue, I don't know how that it's gonna go over, so I figured I'd just open with something spicy. Yeah, I didn't know too much about all this, but that is that one thing that was actually upsetting to me, was them taking advantage of what was going on in the streets, and these fucking rich white kids looting just for, I guess, clout, because clearly it's not like they needed the fucking shoes or whatever it is that they got.
No. They don't need it, right? They have all this money, and what was the point? Oh, of course, you're gonna monetize that video.
I'm sure they did post something up. It is wild though that I'm gonna admit something here. Yeah, as I've said many times on the show, I was not paid to cover KSI and Logan Paul. I did that out of the love of my own heart. That actually happened. But as wild as that is, I was doing this for Combat Press, and I didn't know how serious this was going to be or not. But either way, if you want to call this my job, I do take it very seriously. And every time I've gone to an event, I actually do I do some research on the fighters, or because a lot of these places are regional shows, so I've never really seen them fight. And I didn't know dick about KSI and Logan Paul, and I started looking at some of these DAZN countdown type shows, and I saw Logan Paul's house. It's fucking obscene, man. I was like, oh my god, the fuck am I doing with my life? I don't even know who this motherfucker is. He's this gigantic star on YouTube. He's gonna fight in the fucking Staples Center. He's living in this like $20 million house. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he doesn't need the money to fight. He's just doing it because, he found this new path now, and he's taking it seriously. Yeah. Wait till you meet a real fighter. And I guess Amanda is probably going to take that call, right? Dana White.
Really
just to be an asshole.
Dana, but as he keeps on saying, "Oh, we should lose our." I mean, he was talking about Conor and Diego. Like, if they put that fight together, he should lose his license. Please, please, Dana, don't really. I know he's probably just joking, and of course, Amanda could beat the shit out of him, but let's not entertain this.
Yeah, make your money, girl, but yeah, not gonna look good. The fuck. But it's funny that they. Yeah, it's funny that they put it out there like that, though, and then just getting her name out too. So I mean. Use it to your advantage. She said she's in. That tweet went viral too, so.
At the end of the day, it's getting more attention to actual fighters, right? So
yeah,
there's a silver lining to that.
Yeah.
Especially someone like Amanda, who's definitely not as famous as Conor or Floyd Mayweather.
Yep.
Although it is giving Dylan Donis attention, but I think if you know Conor, you probably know Dylan too. So.
Man, this the shit that really bugs me is that they don't promote her at all. The UFC does not promote Amanda. They don't do shit, and then it takes a YouTuber to get her name out. Fucking asshole.
I want to answer you to that.
Yeah, it's like people that you would probably not reach know her because fucking YouTube kids. Those KSI followers. You saw the group. You saw those kids.
Yes, I did.
That's a totally different demographic.
Yep. They seem to have money to burn. I mean, it's not really their money. They're either trust fund kids or they're still living with mommy and daddy. But they have money to burn for sure. I saw what they were wearing. Yeah. That shit wasn't cheap.
It goes sales. Cha-ching.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave that there, though. I don't really know what else to say about that. I mean, just, yeah. We'll keep the silver lining that it's getting some fighters' attention, but yeah, UFC, do your fucking job, man. and we're talking about men fighting women. We talked about that last week. We're going to talk about it again because it's in the news. And fighters that deserve the spotlight. We don't have any previews since the year's basically over and the fights already happened. We recording this on a Thursday before the Thompson Neal fight, so we can't talk about those, but we will talk about UFC 256. And my God, what a fucking card it was. So let's stop fucking around and get into the rewind. Going back to the rewind here for UFC 256. If you caught our last episode, we were talking about KGB, or the second to last episode, KGB fighting Jillian Robertson. That didn't happen. KGB broke her nose, so she couldn't fight. She broke her nose like 5 days before the fight. Jillian Robertson's fighting this upcoming weekend now with Taila Santos, so there was that. Angie Hill was supposed to fight Michelle Watterson, but she got COVID, so there was that. So those things didn't happen, but still plenty of fights to talk about. I guess since we're talking about Angie Hill and Tecia Torres, we'll start with that one. Man, Tecia put on a fucking show, right?
Yeah, she did. She looked good. But that girl was on short notice. Oh, man, I really wanted to see the Angie Hill fight. I hope they rebook it. I don't know if they talked about rebooking it or not, but I hope they do. And Angie, she seems to be doing good, even though she has COVID. She's still training. I think they coined it Hojo.
What?
Called it the Hojo, her dojo.
Instead of a dojo?
Yeah. The Hojo. I think it came from Karen Bryant. Like she put it under her post because she was like working out or something. She's like, you should just call it the Hojo. I'm like, oh my God, that's fucking brilliant.
You know what? Props to Angie, because I know there's still people that have problems, like, what is like her hashtag whenever she's training, like bitch fucking season and all that. And
yeah.
I have an issue with that. You and I love it. But hey, you can't say like, oh, she's just calling other women bitches. Apparently she's calling herself a hoe too.
Yeah. I love her, man. She's
That's great.
funny.
I was unaware of that, but that's fucking funny. And props to Karen Bryant if she's the one that coined that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of those clips too. She looks to be in good shape. I mean, I've talked to several people now. I don't know how many people you've spoken to or know, but I know several people have gotten COVID, some even in my own family. And I spoke to someone even today who said he got it really bad, that he could barely get out of bed. Like it hurt to lay on his back. Like that's severe. And he's like my age, if not maybe like a year or two younger. Like he's not, he's not old, and he's not like this big gigantic fat dude. Like he's really not that overweight, and I guess it got him hard. But props to Angie. She looks to be in good shape, and of course we'd like to see this fight back. I feel you with Torres is kind of the question, right? Is she really back? Because she's looking like the tiny tornado of old, but Brianna Van Buren, as good as she is, I mean, the Brianna Van Buren fight is still super impressive because of how good she is, but she's still a newbie. And Sam Hughes, she's a good prospect, but yeah, last minute notice. She couldn't really do much here. But when you show out against fighters like that, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. And I feel like, even if it was a year or two ago, Tisha Torres might have gone to a decision, like a kind of a lackluster decision with some of these girls, because she just didn't really have that killer instinct. She was just point fighting, but she has that aggression in her now. She would have fought Angie like that, man. That would have been extremely entertaining. But she probably could have won that fight.
Yeah, and that's what I want to know, right? Because it's the rematch. Angie's been doing great, and then Tisha, she had a dip there, and then she's trying to come back again, so reignite her career. Yeah, it would have been interesting. Such a good fight, but hopefully, they'll rebook it soon. Like, especially with fucking new COVID rules, too. Fuck, man, all these cancellations, it's just crazy. But what can you do? Some people aren't following rules, or, it's just spreading, so it's interesting. Remember, I think it's on the docket, but
it is on the docket, but you're asking what can you do? What the fuck are you talking about? You know what to do. Bring Tom Cruise in. Straighten everybody out.
That was amazing.
People listen to the Scientologist for some reason.
I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, Tom Cruise, Scientology. Yep.
You know what, though? Okay, I know this is kind of controversial, and I had like mixed feelings about it because I didn't like the sound of it. That's definitely mean, but still been working this whole time. People are definitely dropping their guard, and it's unacceptable. And really wish sometimes people would get in someone's shit about it. I would say this for Tom Cruise: he takes his job seriously, and I'm not saying that just because he yelled at some people. I mean, he does all his own stunts. You see all the training he does and shit. I mean, he does his job fucking well. Say what you want about his acting. He preps very well. So I'm not surprised that he's upset that people were breaking protocol. And also as someone that although I don't work in the film industry, I work in something that's has I don't want to say connections, but I know people that come to my work from time to time that work in this. They're taking this shit very seriously. And if somebody gets sick, somebody tests positive, that shit is shut the fuck down for weeks. It's not like, oh, you go home and we'll continue working. They shut that shit the fuck down. So yeah, if it's for your job, for other people's job, and like I get it, man. It's not right, but it's also not wrong.
Yeah, I guess he had a hard life too growing up. He wasn't always rich, Yeah. So he probably had flashbacks. He was like, everything's on us.
I'm not gonna be poor again.
Yep.
Not eating mac and cheese anymore.
Huh. Fucking good for that dude. Everybody needs to hear it. Like before we thought he was crazy, now he was like going off and it went viral.
Once he sounds rational.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, Tom Cruise. Yeah. He's not that crazy after all. He does care. Okay.
Well, just a little bit. But to get away from our tangent, Billy Quarantillo, he got his fucking ass whooped.
Yeah.
I'm off the train. Fuck this guy.
Oh man, seriously? That was your boy.
Kidding. No, I'm kidding, man. That was man, it was beyond impressive. I really wrote Gavin Tucker off. Like, him being 34, him just not having like a great fight in a while, and I think he was off for a bit. I just really looked him over. I'll be honest. I looked him over, and I'm starting to wonder if Billy looked him over because he did not look. Who knows? Maybe he was injured. Also, Gavin Tucker is really just that good. I'm not gonna write him off completely. I'm sure, of course, dude's a good fighter, but I was not expecting that, not even a little bit.
I wonder if that had a lot to do with like emotions too, because this fight should have happened before. It's been a while, I think.
I'm aware of that. I didn't catch that.
They've been talking shit for a while, I guess, too.
I was doing something at that day, so I didn't catch all the fights, and that was one of those that I think I caught the last half. I ended up rewatching it, but I was kind of watching a segment, so I didn't watch it from like beginning to end uninterrupted. But I got the idea. But was there a moment where Billy had a moment? Did he look good in any moment of that fight? Because it didn't seem like it to me.
No.
From pillar to post, huh?
Yeah. I can't recall. Maybe he did. Maybe once or twice. But I mean, it was just domination.
I was just amazed on the floor. Like that was what always got me with Billy. I'm like, this dude's so good on the floor, and he couldn't do shit. I thought, okay, Gavin Tucker, I knew was a good striker. If he outboxed him, I wouldn't have been that surprised because I know Billy's not necessarily a natural striker, although he is very technical. But he took it to him on the feet, on the mat. It was almost embarrassing, almost.
Yes, very entertaining. I did not expect that.
I was just kidding when I'm off the train. I mean, we'll see where he goes from here. I mean, Max Holloway has some rough first fights in the UFC, and look where he went to. So I mean, this can be one of those fights he needed to lose so he can reach his true potential. But one thing that I saw in him, and now it's for sure, kid's tougher than a motherfucker, man. I mean, he's got that heart for sure. Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't have to use it all that much still in the upcoming fights. Hopefully he'll be smarter and can dominate dudes and use technique. But we know if it comes down, if it's a dog fight, he's got that dog in him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they were supposed to fight in April. But it got canceled.
Well, COVID, yeah.
Yeah. Been a long time.
Speaking of shit talking though, Renato Moicano, man.
Dude, he's been like the downward slope on like both ends.
What's wrong with that dude, man? I mean, yeah,
seriously.
We still never found out what happened after that win, choking that dude out. And now he gets knocked the fuck out. I understand if at the moment you're like, I'm good, and you felt wronged in that way. When you see the replay and you're stumbling, you can't even go to your feet. What did you think was going to happen, man?
Right. I don't get it, man. All his losses are getting to him?
I don't know, right? I mean, basically all his losses have been knockouts. Oh, no, I think he got subbed by Ortega way back when. But recently, they've all been, Korean Zombie, Jose Aldo, Fiziev now. I wonder. These are real hard hitters, so I don't want to say he's got a glass chin, but maybe you hit the dude hard enough, he's maybe not as durable as other guys. Not saying that in a disrespectful way, but there's just some dudes that are more durable than others. And it's interesting because he's going up to lightweight. You think his chin might be better if that was the case.
Yeah, but Fiziev, those body kicks,
that
beautiful
finishing combo. Jesus Christ. I gotta work that one. That was beautiful. Left hook to the body, overhand right, left hook to the face. Damn.
The entire time he was just working him. His body, everything.
I mean, Moicano was getting his licks in too, but yeah, it didn't have the impact that Fiziev did.
All that power, and it was so quick. Those kicks are what they fucking impressed me so much because I'm like, damn, dude. Of course, he's from Tiger Muay Thai, isn't he? I thought he was from Tiger Muay Thai. I
don't know, but wherever Jimmy's from, he's a very high level Muay Thai fighter for sure. Ridiculously high level.
Oh yeah, he's that fighter.
The Matrix guy.
Yep, the Matrix guy. Yeah. He trains at Tiger. Thought he was a coach too at Tiger. He's a bad motherfucker. Yep, kickboxing coach at Tiger Muay Thai. He's a bad motherfucker. That's why he can kick like that.
If he got that seal of approval from the Thais, goddamn.
Fucking beautiful.
That is some accolades.
Yeah, those fucking kicks though, like super fast, accurate, and you could just tell, like, yeah, that's different. He went from around here.
You know who I'd love to see, and then I don't know if it's gonna happen because I think he's at lightweight unless he wants to go back up. I'd love to see him and Barboza. I thought Barboza had the fastest left kick in the world, and now I think Fiziev might beat him. At least in that department, but as a fight, that shit ain't going to the ground at all.
No, that would be interesting for sure. Yeah, I kind of want to see it because I'm like thinking about it right now. You got me on pause. I'm like, That would be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's one of those, like, does Barbosa want that smoke, though? I'm not saying that he can't beat him, but what's it going to do for him if he does beat him, you know?
Yeah. I guess he is a cop, too. Fiziev?
I'm not surprised. Does he live in Thailand or in Kyrgyzstan?
He lives in Thailand now, I think. Because, I mean, if he's coaching there. Yeah, he's fighting out of fuck it. He's Phuket, I mean, fuck it. I'm slow right now.
No, I'm not even laughing at you. Just
sorry.
You said fuck it. I said fuck it, and you're still like fuck it. Like,
yep, fuck it. Who cares?
They have fuck it, and they have Bangkok. Thailand's an interesting place, and a lot of their names end in porn. Yeah. I think Thailand was designed to just make Westerners laugh. Pervy minds. Cub Swanson still has it. I know you watched that one.
Yeah, of course. He took a long time off because the last person he fought was
Kron,
right? Yeah, it's been a while.
And he said after the fight that I guess he was thinking about during the fight that he might get cut. So again, when you put some fucked up scenarios in Cub's head, like, he's one of those guys when his back's against the wall, he performs.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why I said after on the last podcast, I was like, he tends to perform in these types of situations, so I'm just gonna kind of take a risk on him.
Yeah, like I love watching him fight, but at the same time I hate it because I'm like, God, it's gonna happen. But man, he had me crying at the end though. Just talking about his kids and stuff, and like, yeah, being a hero to them. I'm like, oh man, Cub, he's a daddy. I think he has twins. He has 2 boys. God.
Yeah, we didn't cover it, but I very rarely get concerned for fighters. I'm not saying this is some apathetic asshole who doesn't care about fighters. It's just, you know, they're adults. They're gonna continue to do this shit. They know what they're in for. But it's very rare. It's very rare for me to actually like, oh man, I don't want to see this anymore. And JDS, it's not like he's my favorite fighter ever. It's not like I have this emotional attachment to him or nothing. But his knockouts are like just getting scary. It's beyond concerning at this point.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to watch it at first. I didn't watch the JDS fight until like a couple hours ago, because I didn't care to watch it. Then I saw all the highlights, and I'm like, see what I mean?
And Gane, he's good, and I, you know, obviously we saw how good he was that night, but he had his moments and he was winning, and that's what made it even more heartbreaking. It's like, shit, he was doing all right, but it's the thing is, when he loses so badly. It set well with me, and Dana was talking about having to talk with him or whatever. I don't know if he ever did. I don't know if JDS is going to be receptive to that at all. Especially it's heavyweight, man. These motherfuckers fight to their 50s. I was like, I got like 10 years in me still. I'm still a young man in this game.
Yeah, that was brutal though. So yeah, I didn't watch it until later. After I watched all the highlights, I'm like, okay. Yeah, it was expected. What can you do? He's getting up there in age. Well, he's 36. It's a lot of miles, too, because everything that he's been going through.
Yeah, that was probably the worst I felt since, like, the third Kane fight. And that was, like, he was still in his prime. Like, he just, you know, that was just a bad matchup with Kane, and he took it to him. But we know that was a lot for him. This one was only a 2-round fight, but it was really worrying me with the whole, he hit me in the back of the head with the elbow and all that. It's like, oh no, I mean, you don't know what happened. And him backing up with the jab and all. It's like, oh, it's not good, man. I really hope that's it for him, but I know that's most likely not the case.
No.
But one guy I do want to see a lot of is Kevin fucking Holland.
Dude is crazy. Dude is funny. Talking shit. He came out of nowhere.
It's funny, too. I actually saw his first fight in the UFC. It was the Dillashaw-Garbrandt rematch. It was here in Staples Center. He fought Thiago Santos on, like, a week's notice. I still remember that shit, and I was like, I didn't really enjoy that card too much. The card was okay, but I wasn't, like, too psyched to see it. It was just one of those, the UFC's in town, let's go watch it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, man, I don't give a shit about it. And, like, I liked Thiago Santos at the time, but he wasn't, like, big time favorite of mine or anything. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I remember when I got home and I started watching the press conference and Dana was talking about, yeah, fucking Big Mouth. We called him Big Mouth. We never thought he'd take this fight, and he took it. And then after the fact, I'm like, oh, okay, that was pretty impressive. And then now, 5-0 in 2020, man.
Crazy, man. He's been so active. Is he gonna get Fighter of the Year? Who's gonna get Fighter of the Year?
Yeah, people were talking about that with Figgy beforehand. Obviously, we're gonna talk about him in just a minute here, but I don't think you can give it to anyone else because it was a weird year as it is. Usually you tend to give it to a dominant champion, like Demetrius Johnson was getting that, Conor McGregor was getting that because they had all these fantastic finishes and these record-breaking numbers. That makes sense, but that doesn't happen in 2020. There was breakout stars, there was crazy finishes and all that, but there was nobody who really had like this really impressive record. And a lot of the champions only fought like once. Nunes only fought once. Stipe only fought once. Usman only fought once. Wiley only fought once. John Jones only fought once. Most of these guys only fought once. So I think it has to be Kevin Holland, especially with the way that he ended it. Like, say, okay, maybe the first 4 guys or whatever weren't that impressive, but the 5th one, holy shit.
Yeah, he got like 3 performance of the night bonuses too. Fought 5 times.
And a guy that Dana didn't like.
Yeah. Fed him to Jacare.
Yeah.
I think that's what he said. Like, he fed me to Jacare because he doesn't like me or something.
He likes him now. Man. And you know what? Kevin Holland's interesting because he's a good case in point of, look, I know there's a lot to be made about fighters unionizing now with this class action suit, what might happen in the future. This has been a talking point forever. Mm-hmm. And I know people tend to hate on people like Cowboy Cerrone or Ronda Rousey that, like, for different reasons, but like Cowboy always fighting and never asking for a pay raise, just like quantity over quality. And then in the case of Ronda, although she made good money, she never really demanded more. It was just like, I'll take what you give me, even though she had some leverage. A guy like Holland is interesting because when you're in a position like that, you should take a shitload of fights. Let me rephrase that. You shouldn't. It's not a thing that you should take a lot of fights, but it's probably in your best interest to do so. Because if you keep winning like this, you're going to become a star probably. You know, guys like Neil Magny and Angela Hill, they were going down this route. The point is, don't go full Cowboy Cerrone. When you get main events and co-main events and you're the star of the show, don't keep fighting for 30,000 and 30,000. That's when you have to use your leverage because you're fucking somebody now. And yes, you have to go in knowing that Dana's going to say that he doesn't want to fight. He's acting like a diva and this and this and that. It's like, no, I got here because I was crazy enough to take these fights. I'm a ranked fighter now. Fucking pay me. You have every right to demand that. So I hope Kevin Holland learns this soon enough. Like, I'm sure he's going to continue to be active, but I hope in like a year or 2, this is not going to be his MO. I hope he actually starts asking for stuff when he's a top contender, which he might be now. I mean, maybe the time is now because I haven't looked at the rankings, but I got to assume he's for sure in the top 10. He might be in the top 5 now, though.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how many fights he has left in his contract because he's been fighting a lot. So wonder if his contract will be up and this is a good time to renegotiate more for more money. Because yeah, it'll be a good time right now on the high. He's number 10, right behind Hall.
Damn, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that. I mean, there's bunch of other fights I'd like to see too, but I'd like to see that. Or Hermanson, now that he's lost. Gastelum, if he's still around. Although I don't know if he's going to fight someone. But yeah, someone that like a former title challenger or a former top contender.
He wanted to fight Brunson.
Brunson's good too.
Yeah.
Although I don't know. It gets weird with Brunson because it seems like a lot of people want to fight him, but he ends up fighting other people.
Yeah, well, that's what he wanted, so maybe they'll book it.
Love to see him, man. I just love how wild the dude is. Like, it's hard to even explain his style, right? Like, he likes to strike, but he's not really a striker. Obviously, we know he's capable on the floor now, and to go full world star on Jacare, that was a sad ass sight and scary as hell, and kind of funny at the same time because of how ridiculous it was. Like, what the fuck, man?
Oh man,
sanity.
And yeah, they might feed him to Derek Brunson and just let it go, or Derek Brunson and him. Yeah,
I think it might be good.
Yeah, well, because Derek has been going downhill right? He hasn't been doing too great.
Well, he beat Shabazian.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember, Shabazian was he was fucking Messiah. People forget about that dude.
Yeah, it's just been like a teeter-totter for him.
Be a good test for both.
Yeah, true. And he's number 7, so just keeps climbing.
Yeah, in a year went from totally unknown to top 10. Bananas. I think you have to give it to him. And I don't know. I did not think it was possible for Joaquin Buckley to get anyone that's even contendership for knockout of the year. And I think Holland, I don't know. It's really neck and neck with me, man. Because, Nico Price got homeboy with the hammer fist and all that. But that was like a really weird circumstance. And it makes sense how he knocked him out. Like, it still makes no sense how Holland was able to do what he did. I don't care if Jacare is washed up. I don't care if he did have COVID, if he's old, or any of these things you may say against Jacare. That's fucking bananas, dude. Yeah. Nobody takes it to Jacare on the ground. Hermanson tried his fucking best and still couldn't do it. Granted, that was a submission, not the TKO, but yeah, you don't do that shit to Jacare, man. Mm-mm. Yeah, but I'd love to see that rematch if it comes down to that. Maybe Buckley fights Krause, and if he wins that, they might do that again. That'd be fucking nuts because Buckley's on his way up too.
Yeah.
And I know he wants to fight him. He's got to hate him.
Yeah. Interesting. What a fun division. It just got shook up by this dude in 2020.
By Holland?
Yeah.
Well, we can put in Marvin Vettori in that too. I mean, he just won a few weeks ago. That was a crazy-ass fight.
Yep, he did too. Yep. Shook it all up. Because he's number 5 now, so...
Whitaker beat Cannonier when a lot of people thought Cannonier was going to win that one. So yeah, there's a lot of shaking up in this division. It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting in 2021. Another fight we covered, Mackenzie Dern and Gina Vandiroba. Not sure how to say her name. Am I the only one that thought that Vandiroba probably should have won?
No, I don't know. Well, I wasn't on it. I wasn't on Twitter, so. But I mean,
no, I wasn't looking at Twitter. I was just looking at the fight. I don't know how people started. Mackenzie won. She won, but I thought that Verna had her case for winning.
I thought Dern edged it out at the end because it was like tied up. At least for me, it was like 1-1. And then the third round, it was so close, but at the end, it just seemed like she pulled it off for me.
I don't remember if it was unanimous or split, but I thought it probably would have been a split, and I thought Verna may have gotten it for some reason. But then again, it could also be a bias on my part. Although I knew how good her jiu-jitsu was, they didn't go to the ground, and it was just striking. I was like, if it's striking, Mackenzie's going to whoop her ass. And nope. So maybe there was a little bit of bias in me that I wasn't expecting much out of her. But it was a really close fight regardless. I'd like to see a rematch. It probably won't happen right away. But it might be a thing where they both keep winning, and they might meet up like in a year or so. Yeah. Maybe they might meet up at the end of the year or something.
Yeah, it was an entertaining fight. Dern looked good. She still has a lot more work to do, but I mean, she looked good.
And people in the UFC now know that she's got heart. I mean, yeah, okay, she got her ass beat by Heba. She didn't quit. I mean, we know she's a tough girl, but like now we know it's not just toughness. Like she can actually get hurt, get her nose broken, and still fight through and smile throughout the whole goddamn thing still too, man.
Yeah,
she really is that.
Yeah, she has a lot of power. Scares sometimes, especially working with Perillo. And no distractions, too. No coach fucking yelling at her and yelling at her husband.
Oh, that's right. That one fucking dude, right?
Yeah. So good for her, man. Seriously, we used to like shit on her before, so impressive. Good.
Yeah, there's a few people that we used to shit on that we love now. So you can turn around on the I Fox with Juice podcast. It just, I got to see a little effort. Mama Dern's got it.
Yeah, she's not just a grappler anymore. She's like showing other tricks in her bag. So good for her, man. She's an athlete. She's a mom.
Her husband's gonna have to step up his game. I know he fought homeboy, but now you know your girl's not just a grappler too. She can fight standing up too. So yeah, dude better really learn something now. At least we know he's down to fight though.
Yeah.
In the co-main event, the man that sparked my interest to write again, Charles Oliveira, absolutely dominated Tony Ferguson from pillar to post. A lot of people are saying that this is what would have happened with Khabib. I get people's points, although Khabib's not the same type of grappler, but it was just wild seeing Ferguson not be able to do next to anything on the ground. I've never seen that.
Man, he made him look like a white dog. It was so dominating. It was like butter, man. He was just passing him, doing whatever he wanted. That was fucking beautiful. He just stepped up another notch. Every fight lately, he's just been elevated, just getting better and better and better.
He wasn't getting better in this way, though. He was getting better in the stand-up. He was always been wild with the stand-up and wild with the submissions. And we started seeing he's becoming a little bit more technical and a little bit more precise with the stand-up. He got a few TKOs last year. Then he submitted Lee, but Kevin Lee kind of has a thing where if the grappling's not going his way, sometimes he just finds himself in a submission. That kind of made sense. But with Tony, it was like he Damian Maia'd him. He like Hickson Gracie'd him. He just smothered him. And we've never seen that from him. We've never seen him just tossing people around. And I'm not going to say laying on him because it wasn't like he was laying and praying. He was advancing position and trying to submit him and dominating him. But we'd never seen that from him. He wasn't like a heavy top game type dude. He would catch you in scrambles and he was very creative with his submissions. But no, he like played it like a true black belt. It was astonishing.
Yeah, probably came with maturity. He's been at this for so long, and now it's like, okay, I'm going to go against the best and might as well calm down. And that's what it seems like he was doing. Just slowly just going at it and just moving him here, moving him there, doing what he wanted. Let me get to top position. That was easy. His transitions, his movement, like, fuck, dude. High level. It was so entertaining, man. I want to watch it again. Because some of those transitions, like, how the fuck did he do that?
I want to know who his jiu-jitsu coach is now. Because I don't know. Maybe he's been training with this guy since he was a kid. Maybe it's one of those, like, Aldo Pederneiras type where this is the dude that gave him his black belt. Or maybe he went to a new camp and he's just jiving with this dude. But obviously he's always had the capability to do this. He's been a black belt for a long time. But he was never able to pull this off. So I don't know if this is a thing of just his MMA coaching, people putting a game plan and them just sticking to it, of them just drilling, or if he just really stepped his game up even as a black belt of just like, okay, we got to use our top game now. We don't want to just leave it up to chance of you sticking your neck out there, getting someone's knee or whatever. We really got to be able to be dominant and submit people when we want instead of just when we see an opportunity. Because that was what Oliveira always kind of struck me as, just like an opportunist. There was plenty of times where he created moments of opportunity as well, but he wasn't this guy that like, okay, I'm gonna get on top of you, I'm gonna get your neck, this and that. It was like, okay, this guy's hurt, he's on the ground, he's trying to get up, and then I'll guillotine you or something. But no, even with the arm bar that Tony Ferguson miraculously did not tap from, although he kind of rushed it because he knew there was 10 seconds left on the bell, it was still picture perfect technique.
Yeah, control, total control. Maybe that's what he was missing all this time.
Yeah, discipline,
control.
Discipline, drilling. Yeah, maybe it was just as simple as that.
Yep.
Taking time, patience.
Yeah. Poor Tony Ferguson, though. Like, everybody seems to just count him out now. Do you guys not know, like, Oliveira's just that good? Like, don't take away from Oliveira.
Hindsight being 2020, I'm not saying that, it was so obvious that Gaethje was going to beat him the way he did. It was still amazing what Gaethje did to him. And that was a competitive fight. Ferguson dropped him. The nasty uppercut, and it's not like he wasn't landing himself, but then he had the weight cut beforehand just as a fuck you, that weight cut just to prove a point. And obviously the first fight in isolation, it was the first COVID fights. It was a weird environment, and Gaethje is obviously a madman, so he thrives in crazy shit like that. So not saying it was obvious he would have beat him, but we can see inklings of that. Not that it was impossible for Oliveira to beat Ferguson, but we just never thought it was this, because Gaethje beat him with boxing, with technical, clean, strong boxing, and Oliveira just dominated the shit out of him. And it's two totally different approaches, but he got soundly beat in both cases. You can't say that we figured him out, right? It's not Ronda getting boxed up and head kicked and, okay, now we know her striking shit. He didn't get exposed. He's had two really, really bad matchups against two crazy motherfuckers.
Yeah. It's been tough for him. Like, he cut weight twice when he didn't need to, right? Well, the second time, yeah, it's needed because it's to actually fight. But the first time he cut weight, he just did it just to prove a point. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Because he did take a lot of damage when he finally did fight.
Well, and that was the thing. Had Oliveira knocked him out, that would have been less surprising than what he actually did to him. Because, like, okay, he probably didn't recover from the Gaethje fight. he landed a good knee or a head kick and dropped him and TKO'd him like that. I wouldn't have been that surprised by that. I'm like, well, yeah, he got fucked up, but not this. You can't blame this on head trauma. This was just domination.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, maybe it's possible. Don't count him out, though. He did have 2 hard fights. I'm not saying that he lost because of that. No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's also a possibility that it may have played a factor, too. And shit that he's been going through. He's not the same guy, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Age.
That, too.
Age, I think if you're going to blame anything, blame age. I mean, he's been through wars like this all the time. Yeah. He comes back and he looks no worse for wear, but he's 36, 37 now?
Yeah, everything's
been doing this for a hot minute. Yep.
Everything's catching up, so it's like, fuck, dude. He may fight a couple more times, but I mean, don't totally like count him out though. Like, he's not a washed up fighter.
That's kind of what I was going to say. Yeah, don't count him out. I get it. And bad luck for sure. Bad string of fights. But it could be one of those things, too, that BJ Penn didn't look old until he just started looking old. He was invincible for a good while. Like, even if you beat him, he was a tough motherfucker. And then all of a sudden, it just started becoming easy to beat him. Like, Johnny Hendricks was another one now. People don't talk about Osada and weight cuts and all that shit. But there's fighters like that. They're just tough motherfuckers. And then they just lose it. Robbie Lawler's a guy that we're seeing right now. Robbie Lawler's way older and had way more fights, but still, like, they're around the same age. Yeah, I don't know. I'm agnostic about Tony, I guess. He could come back and do some great things. I wouldn't doubt it. But if this is it for him, I wouldn't doubt it either.
Yeah, true. He's been through some shit, man. Yeah, it just sucks, but somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose.
I want to go back in the timeline on my Twitter. I believe this is one that you sent me, whoever this guy was. I wish I could give you credit, but this tweet that someone sent out of David Figueiredo, I have power, I have cardio, I have speed. Brandon Moreno, I'm Mexican. I knew that was true when I read it, and I knew it would play out in the fight. I did not expect it to play out in the fight the way it fucking did. Yeah, I was that guy, Irene. What I said a few weeks ago, if I'm going to be jumping and cheering and being a proud Mexican all of a sudden, that was me, man. I enjoyed every fucking second of it. Brandon Moreno did my people so fucking proud.
It took Moreno to finally get you to admit that you're Mexican.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a big deal. I think you should.
Hey, you want to be Mexican too now.
I did say that, didn't I?
Yeah.
That was a beautiful fight. Short notice. Beautiful fight. Finally, he's getting the credit he deserves, right? He earned that shit big time.
I find it funny that people like kind of counted him out because of that. Like, oh, he's just tough. It's like, no, that's the whole point. He's fucking tough. He might be the only guy in the division that can take this motherfucker's power. Mm-hmm. He really might be. That's how it turned out. Yeah, okay, he didn't win, but neither did Figueiredo.
Yeah, I wish they didn't have any of that shit going on, like the eye pokes and, the dick kick and everything. Like, if it was just a clean-ass fight, no issues, like, we could have really seen, like, a better fight, right? Like, I think we were robbed just a little bit because of all the dirtiness.
I don't want to say it made it better. It definitely didn't. I don't want to see that, but it showed more of Moreno's heart. Motherfucker was about to puke his guts out.
Yeah, I don't want to see it either. I'm just saying, like, if that was removed, like, wouldn't it have been better? We would have actually seen what Moreno can really do instead of being fucking damaged. Like, that was all fucking dirty.
Had that not happened, Figueiredo would have won because he got a point deducted, and that's why it was a draw.
No, but I'm saying, though, had all that shit not happened, they just would have fought, I wonder how would it would have been, and I think it would have been better. Because that's fucked up, man. Why you gonna kick the man in the dick? And he still came out fucking like guns blazing, like nothing ever happened. But some people that they can't even operate after they fucking get kicked in the dick. Like he was just like, all right, let's go. Like he didn't even skip a beat. So I'm just wondering, like, damn, dude. And yeah, we're gonna see it because Dana White, said that there's gonna be a rematch. But I'm just saying, like overall, like what the fuck, those eye pokes, the dick kick. But what could have happened? What could really happen? He could probably like got the belt, but
and now we know Figueiredo's a dirty fighter, and now we know if people had their doubts before, I didn't. We know that the heart that Moreno has, and if you don't think that's enough for the rematch, I don't care who you thought. I wasn't really scoring the fight; it was two fucking wild for me to score. But if you don't think that scenario, just that matchup of Figueiredo's power, his grappling, all that shit, obviously that's very potent. But it really is the heart of Moreno that carried him through this, and that was what was wearing on Figueiredo. So many times you saw a look on his face like this motherfucker should be dead already. Mm-hmm. He's still here. And that's what I love so much about the fight. I knew he'd bring the best out of Moreno. So honestly, I'm more surprised at Figgy that he stayed standing after a lot of it. I didn't know if Figueiredo had that kind of heart, but I knew Moreno did. And I love it. I love it. It's sad that DJ left. I mean, we loved him, but we're here now, and I love it that it was a fucking little kid from Tijuana that put this division on the map.
Yeah, like finally, he's here. He got skipped over and then took this fight on short notice, and look what he did.
This is what people always made the argument with DJ is like, why isn't DJ catching on? Because he doesn't have a rival. One fight into the new flyweight champion, and we found the fucking rival. Mm-hmm. And this is what it's about. This is what makes or breaks divisions. So this was a flyweight renaissance, and I don't think they're ever gonna go anywhere now.
Yeah, fuck Figgy though. Oh my god! I guess he went to the hospital after the fight.
Yeah, I guess he had some kind of stomach infection or something before the fight. Brandon Moreno wasn't having it though. He was like, "That's still excuses." Like, which I don't blame him. Like, you got kicked in the dick and eye poked. Like, I don't blame you, man. You know, you didn't make excuses.
Yeah, he's like laughing about it. He's like, "That's ridiculous." Whatever. Talking about his power, like, yeah, no biggie. I love him, man. Like, nah, no biggie.
Fucking McLovin, man. Jesus Christ.
He's always smiling. Always smiling, dude.
Is that when he's in the fight?
Yeah, like, his eyes is all swollen up and he's, like, smiling still.
Kind of like Hivas, right?
Yeah. Fucking genuinely having a good time. That's dangerous, dude.
Dude's a madman.
Yeah.
Dude's a real fucking madman. He has jiu-jitsu tattooed on his forearm, and I forgive him.
His wife is hot, so he's already winning.
She don't look Mexican at all. As I saw her, I was like, what? Really? Okay. And his kids, holy shit, his kids, like the whitest kids ever, man.
He likes Legos. He's like a big kid, too. Just remember those Batman Legos.
He looks so, I was watching the Embedded, seeing him like get that suit. So odd. I was like, oh man, clearly this is like the first suit he's ever gotten. And good for him, though. I love this guy. I love it. I can't wait for 2021. 2021 is going to bring some shit.
Rematch.
2020 was good. All things considered in the MMA world, 2021 is going to be even crazier.
Yo, especially for him. Rematch with the full camp.
Possibly in front of fans.
That would be beautiful.
Dude, and if they do, and I mean, obviously it's going to, not every country is going to go, I mean, some countries are going to get better before others. But yeah, if like the U.S. or even Mexico, maybe Mexico gets better before the U.S. does. If they can go to Mexico and do that shit, oh my God. I mean, I'm sure they'd probably want to do it in Brazil too. Obviously, I'm biased. I want to see it in Mexico. That would be insane.
Do you think they'll get behind Moreno once he becomes champion?
They're going to get behind him now. They're going to get behind him now. Yeah, there's no way.
Amazing.
There's no way. Dana has been wanting. Remember how hard he was pushing Velasquez back in the day? That motherfucker can't even speak Spanish. This motherfucker? Oh, man. That was the thing with people in the WMMA circle. For years, we were talking about Alana and Grasso because they're like, these are the girls. Like, if they're as good as they were in Invicta, like, if they can keep this up and they can have this momentum in the UFC, like, this is money. To have two attractive fucking Mexican fighters, you know, if they were like champions or something, holy shit. But we got Moreno. We weren't expecting Moreno, but we got him. And that may be even better because that dude's never in a boring fight.
Guard him at all costs. He must be protected.
For sure. 2021, here we come. But enough of the rewind. Let's get into some headlines. Came out a few days ago that Kayla Harrison's opponent, Josette Cotton, missed the weight by 25 pounds at Titan FC 66. That was supposed to happen on Thursday. She couldn't get under 180. This was supposed to be a lightweight fight at 155. Kayla was willing to meet her. I think she said up to like 165. She was willing to go up and like, okay, she was overweight, whatever. I'll just weigh a little bit more. But They couldn't sanction it. Sucks for Kayla. I guess this girl has a history of not making weight, but I don't know if it's ever been this bad. So she had to go to the hospital for dehydration. So she was dehydrated at that weight. So how much does she like actually weigh? So many questions.
Yeah, she probably let herself go, right? I mean, it's the holidays. It would have been short notice anyway. She was probably like 190.
Yeah, right. When you have just shit diet, I mean, weight just doesn't come up. I mean, if you're like working at it every day, day by day, working out, okay, good diet. But yeah, if you're just getting off the couch and trying to lose all that weight, it's probably not going to end well for you.
And she's always been a big girl anyways.
It's just mind-boggling to me. In what scenario were we going to be where Kayla Harrison was the one that was too small?
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah, 180 and she was dehydrated. Like, God, yeah, stop feeding. Like they said, always be ready, but this bitch. She's like, nah, man, I'm good. Thanksgiving and all.
There might have been a really good excuse. We don't know, but that's some shit. That's bananas.
180 pounds. Jeez. 100. She was probably like 190, like 10 pounds of water or something.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
In other non-UFC news, got some Bellator news. Bellator has signed 2 fighters, one you may know and one you may not know, but both equally impressive. I want to say Bellator has signed Yoel Romero, who you all know, Soldier of God. He's with Bellator now. Seemed like a last-minute signing because Coker wasn't interested for a while, and I guess he changed his mind. And they also signed Darina Madzyuk. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But we talked about her last week. She's the one that beat the shit out of the 525-pound man in Russia. She's in Bellator now. Something I didn't see when it happened, and I started seeing it this week. Is that picture for real? The picture of her with the foot on the guy? Have you seen this?
No. What do you mean?
Okay, so after a fight, you get all your cornermen together in the ring and you take a picture.
Oh yeah, that one with him like laying down.
And her foot on his chest.
Yeah.
On what I think is his chest.
Yeah.
So was he in on that? Like, okay, you beat me here, take your picture, or like, could he not get up?
No, he has his hand up. Like I think he's throwing up the. I mean, he has
like giving her props.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I probably missed that, but I was like, wait, if this dude can't get, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't feel bad for this guy, fuck him, but like, if he couldn't get up and she just went up to him and fucking put her foot on his chest and just took a picture, like, that's cold, man. That is some cold ass shit, even for a Russian.
Yeah, that would be funny if it was like him knocked out cold, right? No, man, he has his like hands up like he's like doing hang loose or some bullshit.
Oh, okay. So like you said, like he thanked her. He probably thanked her right away after. Like, all right, I'm gonna get my fat ass in shape then. Thank you for the ass whooping.
Well, it's funny that she's in Bellator because doesn't Mark Goddard like referee Bellator fights too?
Yeah, he referees all over the place. But yeah, he's refereed a few Bellator fights.
Okay. Yep. Because when he saw that video, he was just like, "Oh, that's so sickening and shameful." And now he's got to see this girl.
But how can you be mad at her? You can be mad at the guy or the promoter, but why are you gonna be mad at her? She fucking won.
Yeah, so don't be mad at her, Mark. She got a contract off of that.
Shit, if anything, I'm not allegedly. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. Just saying, if she gets in a position and she's like beating some girl and she might have a chance to fight back, he might just call the fight for her because it's like, man, this chick beat down a 500-pound man. She's gonna beat the shit out of you. I'll just call it early. Doing you a favor.
Right.
Yeah. And
crazy.
And Yoel got signed too. So the word is, I think it came to everybody's mind simultaneously, Yoel versus Rumble. Bellator would be idiots to not make that fight. Obviously, that's dependent on whether Yoel and or Rumble want to take that fight. Part of me, I don't know though. I don't know if I want to watch that fight. I know I will, but I don't know if I want to.
I don't know if I want to watch it either. I'm not sure. Don't let it be the first fight for either of them.
I can respect that, right? Like build them up because even if they both lose or one wins and one loses, like it's Bellator, you can still do it. It's just a fun fight if that's what you're gonna call it, but it might not end so fun for somebody.
Right. That's why, like, no, I don't want to see Romero get knocked out, but I don't want to see Rumble get knocked down either. It's been a while for him. Romero's old.
Romero's taking it from fucking Whitaker and Costa and came out fine, but yeah, up a weight class, and Rumble, who's I still think to this day may be the hardest hitter in MMA history. Pound for pound, I don't know if anybody hits harder than that guy. I don't think there's, I mean, shit. I still don't know how he didn't knock out DC.
Yeah.
Twice. But yeah, fingers crossed, I guess. I don't know. Again, I'm sure you and I will watch it when it comes out, but
yeah.
I'm not even the biggest Yoel mark, but I don't know if I want to watch that.
Me either. There's a height difference, and then just Rumble was 285 during his off season. That's a big motherfucker, man. Yoel going up in weight too, and he's only 5'10" or something. Rumble's 6'2".
Remember when Rumble used to almost weigh at 170?
God damn, dude, that was scary.
I'm just speechless when I think about it now. And it wasn't like he was that much smaller then. Like, he was still a gigantic guy. He's bigger now, but he wasn't that much smaller then.
Yeah.
Like, he was around the same size.
They're not even the same person, man.
Yeah, like this Rumble could eat that Rumble.
Yeah. Yeah. No, don't let it be the first one. We can wait.
We'll see. Scott Coker sometimes brings what the fans want to a fault. He gave us Kimbo Dada. You think he won't give us this?
Oh, God.
Yeah. In other news, getting back to the UFC, let's start with the new COVID protocols.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, if I read it right, only the UFC can drive you places, right?
Yeah, looks like it. Yep. They have total control over where you go, how you get food.
Yeah.
All of it. Which I get, because of all these cancellations and whatnot too, but at the same time, like, why didn't they do it like this before? Like, do they really have these fighters like going out and getting food and stuff?
I don't know if it was just Invicta. I think there was another fight, but there was a fight like a month ago. It was supposed to be Montserrat Ruiz and who was she fighting? Emily Ducote, if I remember correctly. That fight got called because they broke COVID protocol. I don't know if they even ever said explicitly what it was. I don't even think anybody even tested positive. It's just I don't know. Maybe they broke quarantine or they were in contact with somebody too long. I don't know. They never really explained that, but it seems like even Invicta's taking it more seriously. You look at some of the boxing promotions, Top Rank, everybody has masks on, even the refs. The only people that don't are the fighters and some of the announcers. In a matchroom boxing too in England, they're doing it outside, and then everyone has face shields and masks too. The UFC definitely seems the most lax with all this, but I don't know, is it because they like sanitize the ring afterward and all how many tests they take during the week? I don't know. Clearly it's been shoddy from the beginning. This is weird because, again, the whole independent contractor argument. There's really independent contractors, but then like we were talking about earlier with Tom Cruise, this is how they're doing it on movie sets basically. Is the UFC really that far removed? I mean, they are filming. They are on location somewhere. They are meant to be isolated. There's light people and makeup people and doctors.
Yeah, that's already enough. And then they're going out and getting their own food and trying to figure things out. And like, I don't get that. I thought they provided all that at the PI.
I don't know if the PI can keep up on fight week. It's one thing to like, okay, Amanda Hebus, you got your training at 8 p.m. or whatever, but to like bring food to everybody and therapists and all the other stuff, I don't know if they're equipped for that.
All the money that they can make, like, or they have made, like, they could probably hire some people to handle all that.
Well, but then again, people aren't really hiring a lot of people right now because of COVID. And what if some of these people have gone sick? What if they're on vacation? I mean, it's the holidays.
No, I'm like saying though, like from the get-go, like if they want to control all this, I mean, maybe even have them like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like they could have did a better job. Aren't they like all in the same hotel? Can't they use like room service and just have food delivered? Like, I don't understand this. Now they're going to control everything.
Hindsight being 2020, this could have been implemented better from the start for sure. You're not wrong on that, but What can you do here? I mean, it's the same argument we've been having about our government, right? Had we done correctly from the beginning, we wouldn't be in this fucking shit show. But here we are nonetheless.
I don't get it, man. I mean, like, they do a lot of work with Abu Dhabi. It sounds like they take care of them really well over there. But here it's like, what the fuck ever. You're in Vegas.
There's probably labor laws that are not done in Abu Dhabi that are done here. So
yeah, it's crazy.
It's probably why they like going back there so much.
Yeah. But and then you mentioned like 2 fights are off because of this too. So who knows, man? This will probably like help them like track what's going on too. Because that was the other question. Like, when are they getting it? Where are they getting it? Do they get it here while they're in, on campus and shit at the PI, or like because they're doing all these tests and they like test positive day of, or weigh-in day. At one point, did they get it and shit like that?
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
In more UFC brass talk, Dana White, he's confirming that Izzy's going to be next for the light heavyweight title over Glover.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think this was funny at all, but your reaction was fucking priceless.
Yeah.
It's cold, man. I feel so bad for Glover. I really do, but man, you're like heartbroken, huh?
It is what it is. What can you do? He's gonna have to wait. He's gonna be hella old.
Hey, if the man goes in to the octagon with a walker, I'll have even more respect for him.
I like Izzy. I'm an Izzy fan, but I just don't like this. Like,
well, I don't think this is Izzy's fault.
No, but he didn't have to take it either.
Dana just had to swerve him like that, though. You know, right? It's like, oh, what did Glover say? I deserve the fight more than Izzy. Give me my shot. This isn't easy as a 40-year-old man. And Dana's like, he's not wrong.
Yep.
A few months later, he's like, fuck him.
Yep. Dirty.
Dirty game. It's a dirty game for dirty people. And on that front, with dirty games, dirty people, and Dana White, he's now playing his old bullshit card of people not wanting to fight. He's claiming that Rose Namajunas doesn't want to fight for a fucking title. Pat Barry, her fiance, says otherwise. I really hate this. I really don't think, I don't hope, I don't think that this is my bias of my love of Rose coming out here. It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up, some of the shit that he was saying, that, oh, well, she was having doubts when she was a champion. Who knows if she even wanted to do that. Maybe that's probably why she doesn't want to take this fight now. It's like, we all know this is a money issue.
Yeah.
More than likely. And you're fucking bringing up her past like that. Like, if you're going to lie, at least just say, yeah, she's just not interested. Who knows what's going on with her. And if you're going to say that, just leave it at that. But to bring up, oh, she never really wanted to be champion. It's like, oh, I heard that somewhere before by fucking Joanna. She was saying that she was mentally weak and unstable.
Yeah, it's sad because it's just money, man. They didn't agree on money, and now he has to talk shit like this.
And who else are you gonna put in there right now? Tatiana, who the fuck knows what happened with her? I mean, she'd be like the next in line, but she's been hurt.
I mean, he probably give it to Joanna. They're buds. They're buds. And yeah, the rematch. Let's make money off the rematch.
Yeah, you're right.
She'll do it. She'll be worth it, She'll be worth the money. Right, exactly. Could have been, it's possible that's going to be a fight of the year. And why not? Rose is being difficult. She won't take the money off her.
And although I don't think it's wise to do immediate rematches, and history is on my side on this, because they never tend to be good, or they never tend to be a different outcome. It doesn't matter what I say or what history shows. They never pay attention to it anyway. That's why they did Dillashaw Garbrandt 2 right away. That's why they try to do Weidman Rockhold 2 right away. For no reason. Whatever. As you said with Glover, it is what it is, right? I mean, I'll be a big boy about it, and I guess I'll say the same thing with Rose. It is what it is. Pisses me off, but
it sucks. Yeah, it sucks for Rose, man. He didn't have to go there.
Yeah, you're right, man. Fuck that. Nah, I think it's with that stuff with Rose. Like, I do like her as a fighter. She's great. She's fun. I love watching her fight. But yeah, personally, yeah, I do have a bit of an attachment to her, and yeah, definitely her openness about mental health issues and all that. I dig that about her, and I don't like people throwing shit like that in people's faces. About actual personal stuff, not about throw shit back in John Jones' face about hitting a pregnant woman. That's fine. That's fine. That was a fucking crime. Nobody bringing shit up about, oh, she had her doubts because she didn't want to do it. She was a champion and this and that. Whether it's true or not, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that article recently came out about her being open.
Oh, about Conor and all that?
Yeah. And then he brings this up. How convenient.
That was one of those things too. Even as I read some of that, her talking about the Conor thing, I didn't get it, to be honest with you. I wasn't fully oh my god, I totally get where she's coming from. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I get it or not. I understand that why it could have been traumatizing. I understand why she freaked out about it. But I'm not one to say, oh, well, why is she still freaking out about it? Because it seems like that tends to be the thing with a lot of people. She took Rose, and she's all freaked out over some stupid shit 2 years ago or whatever. It's hey, I don't know, man. People have different reactions to different things. I'm no one to judge her on that, Just because it may not affect me doesn't mean it may not affect other people. I'm sure there's shit that, as I've said before, I'm terrified of possums. Rose might fucking pick up a possum and throw it across the fucking yard, I don't know. It's fucking crazy. I don't know. And I mean that in the best way. But that doesn't mean that what's for her is for me and to any of you out there. But yeah, fuck Dana. Anyway, 2 other quick news stories. So Max Holloway is saying that he's gonna stop sparring ahead of this fight with Calvin Kattar, and apparently he did this with the second Volkanovski fight. I'm not sure. I don't know if the article said that he had done some sparring and he stopped, or he's just not doing it at all. But it's interesting because he fought very different in the Volkanovski fight, and a lot of people thought he won, and myself included. But I'm wondering how he's gonna look from now on. I don't know if he's gonna be the one that fought Brian Ortega, that crazy fucking volume puncher. I wonder if that dude's gonna come back, because I wonder if he was doing that because of how much sparring he was doing.
Yeah, who knows, man? And he's gonna get married, right? He just recently got engaged.
Yes. Yeah. Second wife, right? Or I don't know, maybe the first woman wasn't a wife.
Yeah.
I know he got baby mama.
Yeah.
No. I think he was married.
Was he married?
Yeah, because I know he had the kid very young. And I think even when he was 22, they were showing embeddeds or whatever with him. And he's like, oh yeah, my wife, my kid. Damn, to be 28 and have 2 wives? God damn, son. They live fast in Hawaii.
Yeah, well, he's been at it for a while too, so maybe he doesn't need to sparring as much. Maybe he's just gonna change up his game plan too.
People get weird when people say this because they're like, how are you gonna fight if you can't actually practice fighting? But Robbie Lawler didn't spar for 7 or 8 years. And he wasn't great in that fight, granted. He wasn't great during that time, granted. But he came back to the UFC and had an iron chin. I think it's because he spent 7 or 8 years not sparring.
Mm-hmm.
So this has a track record. This could work. This could work. And then the way how smart Max is, he might be smart enough to pull it off.
Yeah, just save his brain, his chin.
Because at least he's aware too that although he's got an iron chin, this shit's getting to me, man.
Right.
Good on him. We don't need another BJ Penn. You know he loves him. And the Hawaiians love him, but you don't want to emulate him. And last bit of news: Muslim Salikhov has withdrawn from his fight with Santiago Ponzinibbio. That fight's a couple of weeks away. It wasn't Ponzinibbio. It was Salikhov, and I guess this is the second time this has happened. Fuck, man. I wonder if they're going to get a fight for this guy.
It sucks, man, because he's been out for a while.
I think it's going to go on almost 3 years now or something, right?
Yeah, something crazy. We have not seen him for a good while there. Maybe he's an assassin or something.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about this.
Yes, we talked about this.
And then look what happened. Nobody wants to fight him. They're like, fuck that. He's a killer.
I'm pretty sure if there was an assassin in this group, Muslim Salikhov would be, given his ties to Russia and possible.
Maybe he has a mission. There's all kinds of bullshit hacks happening from Russia. So
you're right. Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God, this is so convenient.
Oh, you're silly, Reen. But again, you and I have this difference because I understand the Gen Xers are so scared of the Russians because, you know, Reagan and all that. And I'm here, millennial. They're cool. They're communists, as we tend to do. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, that does it for MMA because there was no real matchups. So let's just get into our news story of the week. Headline is San Diego to fight ruling letting strip clubs stay open. So we're here in California. I live in LA. Reen lives in Sacramento. We're not near San Diego. But there's counties fighting these lockdown stay-at-home orders. And there's several businesses fighting this. And apparently one of them is a strip club in San Diego named Pacers. And I guess there's another one, Cheetah's Gentlemen's Club, which, if I'm correct, there's also a Cheetah's here in LA. And I think it's a very iconic strip club. I've passed by it once or twice. Never been in there. It's daytime. But I think I've actually seen it. So there's a pretty well-known strip club. And they're doing this on grounds of the First Amendment, saying that they have the right to stay open, same as churches and protesters would. I'm really not seeing this argument. If they want to stay open, I think there's an argument to be had there. I don't get taking this line of defense, though.
It's so funny. Maybe they're trying to make a point. I don't know. It's just crazy to me, but I'm like thinking all kinds of shit right now. It's a business, man. They gotta stay open. All these girls gotta make money, right?
Dude.
So do what you gotta do. Use whatever amendment you need to do.
I am not against strippers working or strip club owners making money. I'm down with all that. I do not want to meet the man who's going to a strip club during a pandemic.
Dude.
I don't want to meet him. First of all, you must have money to burn, right? So why are you spending it on this shit?
Well, I guess it's a high-end strip club, right? Because who was it? San Diego Padres player had a car accident there recently.
Didn't he get stabbed?
Oh, is it a stabbing? Oh, I think you're right, stabbing.
Which, I'm sure it's in a very high-end place, a very nice part of town.
So who knows, right?
Like I said, Cheetah's.
It's known.
If it's the one that I'm thinking of, it is very well known here in LA, but I don't know what it's like in San Diego.
Gotta get their fix, man. They're in quarantine with, like, who knows, the crazy wives or whatever. They need a release.
Seriously, Reen, if I told you I went to a strip club, like if we get on the call next week and I was like, oh yeah, I was at a titty bar yesterday, you're not gonna throw judgment my way?
Oh yeah, I will. I'll throw judgment for sure, but. Oh, yeah.
But are you also going to congratulate me for supporting small business?
Yep. I'll be like, good for you. You're helping your community and risking your life.
Uh-huh.
What can you do, man? There's nobody like coming to help anyone, so they're doing what they need to do. And then aren't they like 6 feet away with masks on?
Yeah, they're saying like we're taking the precautions, but still, like you're not outdoors. You know, that was the thing. That has been the debate as of late, outdoor dining and whatnot. There's definitely a debate to be had there.
Yeah.
You know, that's definitely fucked up. But I love this line. Here's a quote, I guess, from an email. Here's in the article. The right of free expression applies not only to so-called strip clubs, but to all live performers in California. Unfortunately, the county has singled out adult entertainment venues for closure without any proof that live adult entertainment has resulted or will result in COVID-19 transmission. We don't really know who's really admitting they're going to strip clubs, though. It's okay to say, and I went to McDonald's with my family, and somebody probably gave it to me there. Who's saying they went to a strip club during this, man? You don't want to interview those people.
You have a point there. Yeah, they're probably not like honest about it because that's kind of embarrassing too.
And my biggest thing is here too. The first line is what really throws me off. The right of free expression applies to not only so-called strip clubs, but to all live performers in California. Then why don't we have concerts? That's freedom of expression, right? That's art.
Yeah.
Why don't we have concerts? Why don't we have movies? That's art. That's a way to express an opinion.
Yep, that's their fault for not suing.
Well, I just find it interesting, the wording of this.
Yeah.
You're not really making your argument clear here, because that would imply that, oh yeah, movie theaters are open, concerts, arenas are open. It's just strip clubs are open. It's like, no, they're all closed.
Yeah, well, that's their fault for not suing. I mean, if the president can sue for whatever he wants, then why can't businesses? At least they have a legit reason to be open, right? And still in business.
Hey, the ones that sued and actually got stuff reinstated is churches, so I'm sure you're all happy with that, Reen.
Yeah, what can you do? Nobody's coming to help, so taking matters into their own hands. And yeah, if people want to go check out can you say it? Check out strippers during this time, I guess they can go.
I understand you're doing this for principled reasons, Reen, but again, don't. I'm not saying don't feel sorry for these people. Do not feel sorry for the workers of this. Yeah, that's terrible. But again, I don't want to meet the people that are going there, man.
No, of course not.
It's one of those
if you
things,
do know those people, they better tell you the truth.
It's one of those things, man. Like, I'm with you here, honestly, in a way. Like, let the market decide. The problem is people aren't really honest about going to strip clubs a lot of the time, but especially now.
Yo, come on, man. They're not going to socially distance and take them back to the, back room.
Well, clearly, I don't think they can have lap dances, right? It's probably just all on the pole.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
Slip me $100 bill.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
Exactly. Everybody's breaking some kind of COVID protocol, so shit. Of course shit's going to snowball. Like, I'm not saying this is right. Not at all, but I'm just saying I don't blame you.
Yeah, there's on the scale of frivolous lawsuits, this isn't near. And I'm not even including Trump and all this bullshit in it. I'm just talking about just Americans in general. And they're
so happy. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But it is funny though. Like, yeah, they're kind of on the side of, in a way, it's kind of like the churches and the strip clubs have they're under the same umbrella here. No pun intended. So maybe there is some common ground.
Huh? Can they be on the same block again? Can they live? Can they like coexist?
That would make sense, right? Like, if you're a God-fearing man and you just go to a strip club because, you give in to temptation, wouldn't you want to go to church immediately right away to repent for your sins?
You would think, right? That would be a good business model. That's actually a good idea. Try to get these people to like convert and shit. Make you feel bad. Yep.
If I was a preacher, yeah, I'd do that. And then I would always bring up that fact, like, we know how many men are going down to that strip club down the street. We've all had thoughts of that. We know we all want to go to Cheetahs. And then sure enough, you just drill it into their head enough times, and then the wife finds a receipt, and then they're going to church, and pastor, they're going to the strip club. What? I told you not to do that.
Yep.
Now give me your 10%.
Huh. All the wild fantasies, right? That'll be going through everybody's head as well. Oh God.
It's like mechanics, man. Like, we know mechanics ain't honest. We know they're fucking with other shit in your car while they're fixing one thing. You got to come back. They got to get the money somehow.
Exactly.
You got to tempt them with the strip club so they can keep coming back for business.
Yep.
It ain't a sin. It's just good business. Apparently, according to a lot of Christians in this country, Jesus was a capitalist. So you gotta follow Jesus' word, man.
Crazy, man. Yeah, church and strip clubs are cousins. They just need to get along.
And when you think about it, I mean, strip clubs are more empowering to women. Mm-hmm. Who are you looking at on the stage? Women? How often do you see women on stage at a church?
Seriously, equal opportunities.
And you pay more attention to the women. You fucking fall asleep at church.
Yeah, they have a lot of power.
Got a lot of leg power. That's for sure.
Slang that pussy, like.
Remember that one fucking video, that stripper that descended from the fucking heavens and continued to twerk? Remember that shit?
The one pole, the chick
that was like 80 feet tall.
Yeah.
She fell and she continued to dance like a fucking soldier.
Yes, yeah. She probably goes to church too.
I'd go to church after that shit happened to me. I didn't die. And might still have a fully functioning brain and probably still walk. Holy shit, man. Better believe in God. Better believe in something.
She's a good person. She's talented. She goes to church, but yeah, she strips.
I really wonder if I was in the crowd. Like, at that point, I probably would have told dudes around me, like, dude, just give her everything. Whatever you got in your wallet, just throw it. Might have just fucking broken her cranium, dude. Just give it all to her. Fuck it. Cover her hospital bills. You don't know what she's about to go through right now. She's still working, man. Give her some props. Give her a good tip.
She's funny.
Anyway, that does it for tonight's show. We got to figure out the schedule since Christmas and all that's coming up. Don't expect the show, folks. It'll probably be a surprise. We'll see what happens here. But if this is it for 2020, thank you guys for joining us for this fucking hellscape of a year, man. We got to have some awards coming up soon, whether that's this week or next week, to be seen. But you will get something. Thank you guys for everything this year. Seriously. Thank you for sticking around this long. Give feedback on the little intro. I mentioned this in the beginning. I don't know what I'm doing here. I just want to know if you guys are down with it. I may continue this. I may not. Or I may just continue writing. Either way, I want to know what's going on. But you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Juice_MMA. Green?
Fox with you on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can follow the podcast at iFoxWithJuice, where everywhere podcasts are, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes. We are now officially on Pandora, too. We just got partnership with them. So if you like Pandora, you can search us there. So, again, thank you guys, and we'll see you very soon. Later.